So hi, this is a very handmade review, so please excuse the cinematography. I just thought I'd share with you a little bit of a review, an early day review of this Escapement time dress watch that I recently purchased. Came through last week. I'm not going to do the unboxing. I know that some people like doing that, but I think just getting to the actual meat of the watch is probably what most people are interested in. Someone online, when I posted my first picture of this watch, just said, could you do a quick review? So here it is. So what can I tell you about the watch? It's a classic 38 mil dress watch, 20 mil bandwidth, which means you can find bands for it, which I would definitely recommend. The band on this is, well, it says genuine leather on the underside, but I would say probably on the top it's plastic. So I'm just really keeping it on the watch until a better strap that I've ordered for it comes in. Anyways, you can see it's got a black face. It's in this light, it's not clear to see, but there's kind of a sunburst effect, and I'm not sure whether that's because of the domed crystal, flat leaning back into it in the light. In a subdued light like this, it's a very calm looking watch, but in daylight, it's much more sparkly, which is nice. You find your eye being caught to the indices, the golden bits around the edge, sorry. The hand's very nice, and the sweep of the second hand is very smooth. I believe from the advert that it's a PT5000 movement, which I believe is a clone of a Swiss ETA movement. In the time I've had it, it's kept very good time and is accurate according to my roughest calculations, just comparing it with a digital watch that I have. It seems to be keeping very, very good time. So its basic function is there. As you can see, it does have a date window, which I know some people don't like to see on a dress watch. I think, though, that it really doesn't detract because the date window is colored in black, as you can see, so it doesn't stand out at the 3 o'clock marker. If you want to look at it, you really can, and you can have a look. But if you don't, and you just go back, it kind of fades into the background. It's there if you need it, but it doesn't stand out, or it doesn't unbalance the watch, if that makes sense. It's quite a slim phone. I have a Presage, Seiko Presage, which I would say is probably a third thicker than this, and I find that a little bit unwieldy. This particular phone, I'll just see if I can turn it up for you so you can have a look, really is quite narrow. And because of that, it sits very nicely on the wrist, okay? As you can see, the crown is unsigned, it's very plain. The one thing I did think about when I looked at this watch was that the crown was a little bit big, a little bit too utilitarian. But to be honest, I have another dress watch that I bought recently on AliExpress, which has a much smaller crown. This makes it just really easy to top up. Whereas on the other watch that I have, it's a little bit of a chore winding it. So I think, it's made a la 1950s. It's very simple. It's polished on all sides. There's no decoration to it. It's a very simple case. But I find myself, it's very tactile because of the softness of it. It's something that feels like, a very well-worn pebble, the crystal, it feels lovely to the touch. And I find myself, almost, being drawn to the feeling that it has, that I don't think modern watches have. Modern watches are very precisely engineered. This one has a feeling of having been touched not just by a machine, but maybe even by hand in its manufacture. And for me, that's quite charming. Some watches can feel a little bit impersonal. This watch is not that at all. I think it's a very, you will grow attached to it. Now, if we look at the hour hand and the minute hand, they're very clear, very easy to read. They have a tiny bit of lume. I'll just zoom in so you can have a look. They have a tiny bit of lume on them, which lasts a very, very short while. It does look like the phone has, the watch has lume at each of the time markers, but it doesn't. At least my watch hasn't picked up any light from those white dots. So I think those are just for I guess accuracy, helping people to read the time. It's a very readable watch in all light conditions. It does pick up reflections from the sun, but in spite of that, still very easy to read. Let me just turn it over again. I'll just show you the other side. So you can see it's completely polished. Okay. I would say that the lug distance is a little bit long for a small wrist. So I mean, my wrist is under 7 inches. I don't have large wrists, and it sits okay on me. But if it was maybe, it's not the kind of watch that would be okay on a woman's wrist, if that makes sense. I'll just turn over so you can look at the case back. Okay. As you can see, there's a display case back. Now I have to say, having looked at the movement for a little while, it's very clean. The movement is very clean. There's no decoration on it. It's very utilitarian. And for me, I guess when you've got a movement like this that is devoid of decoration, one has to ask oneself why it has a display case back. There isn't any real reason. But it is kind of nice to see it working. I believe it's a high beat movement. One thing I did notice is that the rotor, when it's being turned, when you're, let's say, moving it just to check the sound, can sound a little bit noisy. I don't think that is going to detract from it, but it doesn't leave you feeling that it's a high quality movement, which is a shame because I believe this is meant to be a good quality movement. As you can see, it does have sapphire crystal. I believe that's just on the front. Stainless steel, made in China. It's waterproof 50 meters, or water resistant at 50 meters. And it has the name of the maker, Escapement time there. It also has a number here. So I believe that would probably refer to the movement, but I'm not sure. Maybe someone else can flag it. Let me just see if I can show you the movement from a different angle. If I can get it moving. There you go. So, as I say, it's very utilitarian in the same way that the more basic Seiko movements are utilitarian. It's nice to have, but I don't think I'm going to spend much time looking at the case back. All in all, I guess it comes down to, would I recommend this as a watch to purchase at this price? This was more expensive than I'm used to paying for a Chinese watch. I think I spent about 250 Aussie dollars on it. I have to say, because of its uniqueness, even though it's out of a Chinese manufacturer, it doesn't feel mass-produced, if that makes sense. It feels like it's been handmade, and that's crazy. It can't have been handmade at this price point, but it does give one a feeling that it's not just another homage knockoff, that it does actually have a character of its own. It probably has been copied from a Swiss piece, but a Swiss piece from a long time ago. So all in all, I really enjoy wearing it. It I guess transports me back to a different time in watchmaking, when watches were organic as opposed to being precise and clinically engineered. This has a sense that hands have touched it in its manufacture. They may not have, they may not have. There's a lovely story about the Escapement time guy, which is meant to be a one-man band, but I doubt he can be with the amount he's selling. This watch I had to wait for because it was out of stock. So I guess that means that a lot of people are attracted to it. There is a one in white, To be honest, I much prefer the one with the black face. The white one looks a little bit cheesy and a little bit cheap. Let me just see if I can catch a little bit of light with this so you can see how it looks when there's different light on it. For me, I like it. Sorry about the thumbprint I've just noticed on the front, but in spite of that, you can see that it has a changeable quality to it. So it's not just a plain watch. It has some nuances that I really enjoy anyway. So I guess, yes, I do like it. I would spend that money again. And I think, you know, if you're looking for something a little different, if you're looking for something slim, if you're looking for something that's very accurate, and if you're looking for something that has an amazing tactile feel, then this might be a good watch for you. As I say, the black version is snapped up very quickly, so if you buy from Escapement time, you'll find that sometimes it's out of, it's not available. I would say don't get the white one, get the black one. I think you're going to enjoy it much more. All right, so let me leave that with you. It's only a short, my very first review, so I hope that was helpful. And if I've missed anything or messed up completely, do tell me.